Welcome back to Winning with Anna Lee. I'm your host, Anna Lee Leonard, president of Mainstay Financial Group, right on the corners of Antes and Perry. As you know, last month we had with us a guest and a fellow business colleague of mine, John Horton, who is part of our Escarosa Senior Alliance. John has a business called Assisted Living Locators, and we've started the conversation about why it's important to make yourself and those you love knowledgeable about what it means to move to an independent facility, an assisted living facility, a full service facility. And there's differences in all of those. So, John, your job is to go out and help people find the right place that suits the income that they have, what can they pay for, suits their personality, suits their social background, so that if I were to move somewhere, I'd want to be comfortable.
Absolutely.
I mean, personally, I move somewhere and you got a lot of crazy Cajuns, I'm going to have a good time. Don't put me with a bunch of people that just don't like to laugh and dance and have fun, because
And
that's my background.
You have to bring your dogs too.
And
right?
I have to bring my babies. That would be, the three Snousies would just walk in right behind me. I mean, that's a given. So tell me, if you would, kind of in a short form, tell me the differences between the independent, the assisted living, and the full-blown nursing home.
Independent living is, as it says, you go in and you take care of yourself, and you have your apartment, you eat meals there, and you can drive and go and come and go as you please, and you're not really looking for any medical care or assistance. Assisted living is that next step, and the assisted livings do offer independent care, but they're there to help you in case you need help with bathing or dressing, or you're not able to drive anymore, and most of them provide transportation.
I see.
But then you move on to the nursing homes. That's where you get into skilled nursing care. If you're a sliding scale diabetic, if you just cannot get out of bed and have a chronic illness, then you probably need a little more care than assisted living can offer. So the other thing that's very important to understand is cost.
Yes.
Assisted living is a bridge between not being able to live at home and having to go to a nursing home. And you can live at assisted living for about half the cost of a nursing home, or even more. And so it's very important to look into these factors before you just say, well, I guess we're going to have to put mom in a nursing home. Well, assisted living could be a very viable option for you.
It could be a good bridge.
Absolutely.
In between the two. So it's important that you know what a person needs before they go, what level of care. And you had talked about that last month when we were together, about you doing an assessment so you can find out what someone needs. So let's just say, all right, you've come to my home, we've had this conversation, whole family agrees, I agree, yes, I want to go and live in this assisted living facility. And I'm sure not every transition is perfect.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's like I tell people when I teach my class on finances, people come in and they say, listen, I want something paying 14%, I want it 100% safe, and I want it totally liquid. Well, that's called Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantasy land. There is no such thing. So I'm sure the same thing, everybody who works with you, it's not always a smooth transition. I mean, what are some complications that you've seen?
Some of the complications starts at the beginning with the family dynamics. You got kids on one side that say, no, mom needs to stay at home, and you got kids on the other side, no, she's got to go. And so we come in, we try to be that middleman where they can take out their frustrations on each other, because what happens is the one that is the primary caregiver is the one that gets all the beatings. Because the parents are upset, they're frustrated, and that's who they lash out at. So just trying to smooth that transition, trying to inform the parent that this is for your good. They still love you. And then the other thing is, the caregiver carries so much guilt.
Yes.
Because they promise mom, I'd never put you,
and
I'll take care of you, but times change and you just can't do it anymore. And that's another thing that we promote, care for that caregiver, to make sure that they understand that they don't see what's happening to them after taking care of mom and dad for 3, 4, 5. And I talked to someone the other day, she'd been caring for her mom for 17 years.
Oh my gosh.
And she just didn't understand how frazzled she was, and she needed to get her life back in order, and mom would do so much better. So there are complications with that family dynamic.
And don't you often see the health of the caregiver quickly goes down?
Absolutely.
Because they're no longer taking care of themselves.
Nope.
They're pretty much 24/7 taking care of that person, so they may not be eating right or getting exercise or sleeping enough each evening. So you've got, and I agree with you, I've seen the caregivers very much put down by the rest of the family who lives far away.
Right.
And they're not there, they don't see things on a daily basis. Well, why can't you keep taking care of mom? Why can't you do this? Why can't, well, come and do it yourself for a while and you'll find out.
And the other thing that you have the caregiver telling them that this is what's going on, but mom's calling the other kids on the backside saying, do you know what she's doing to me? So you got to fight.
She said I can't do this. Yes, I can. So it does. So it's a process. I think it's a process, and people call you. Now, I've got to ask you something, because you're doing a tremendous amount of services. I mean, you're going to do an assessment. You're helping somebody find the correct spot. You'll, even if they don't have transportation, you help with that to get them to see places. Do they have to sit with their budget and figure paying you also? How are you getting paid?
No, we are absolutely free to the family.
Free to the family?
Totally free. We'll go in, we'll talk to them, we'll help them find that right place. I've even loaded up my truck with their furniture and moved them in before.
Oh my
so
gosh.
we'll do everything that we possibly can to help you, even if it's just getting the resources you need through Escarosa people, or whether we can help them find something that they need to do. But we're absolutely free to the family. How I get paid is if the family moves in and they're happy for 30 days and the community is happy with the family for 30 days, then they will pay me a referral fee. One thing I would like,
the assisted living facility or the nursing home, they then pay you a finder's fee.
That is correct.
So,
and one thing I'd like to mention is we work with 95% of the communities or assisted livings in the area. So we're not trying to buttonhole you into 2 or 3. We work with a lot of them. Excuse me. And we've also even taken them to places that we don't work with, because through the process we realize, you know what, they're going to do best over here, even though we're not going to get paid. And so we've moved them into places that we don't work with. So don't think because it's a free service, it's not full service. We are full service.
And I can vouch for that. I mean, I know the people that you and I have worked with together, you give them a full range of what's best, and we have together, worked on helping people find, I mean, I can't think of any place around here that we haven't at some time used. So you do that job, and that's another reason I like working with you, because you work the same way I do. If what you have is good, I'm going to tell you that. Or if you come to me and you want something but it's not good for you, I'm going to tell you it's not good for you. And do a lot of pro bono work, but I believe that, they say that things come back to you 100-fold. I don't believe that. I think they come back 1,000-fold.
They do.
If you do the right thing for people, it comes back, and that's how you stay around for year after year after year, and your business is successful, because people aren't saying, oh, that John put me over in this place and it was just terrible. No, John helped me find the place that was fitted to my income, to my personality, to my social background, and I'm happy here. I'm glad to be here.
Right.
And they tell other people about what's going on.
And that is part of the process too. A lot of times the senior will go in, what I say, kicking and screaming.
Yes.
But after 30 days, they say, you know what, this is pretty good. I've got friends now, I've got things to do, I can go here, I can do this. And after 30 days, it becomes closer to home. And then 2 or 3 months longer, it's part of their life.
It becomes home.
It does.
It becomes home. And I think that's one of the most important things you just talked about. New friendships are formed.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things we've seen in the process of aging that causes the fastest deterioration is lack of socialization.
Right.
And that happens because maybe a spouse is gone, the children don't live there anymore, some of friends have passed away. If you're not driving, you can't go back and forth to see people. And that sense of isolation sometimes becomes overwhelming. So what I'd like to do, we're going to have to go to break in just a second, but what I'd love to talk about is some of the socialization that takes place in the independent and the assisted living facilities and the things that are done to keep people active emotionally and physically. You know, I look at the calendar at some of these places and it wears me out just looking at the calendar. I mean, it just, sometimes they've got things going on from 8 in the morning till 8 at night.
That's right.
It's just amazing, you know.
They do a lot of things, and the important thing is it's all voluntary.
Yes.
So if someone goes in and they say, I don't want to do that, you don't have to.
No.
You can come to what you want to, you can ignore what you don't want to, but they always give you a calendar, they always post it on a large calendar so that you know what's going on, so that you can be a part of it. And they will encourage you. They'll knock on your door and say, hey, do you want to come do this or that?
Yeah.
And so,
we're going to talk more about that and some of the activities, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals, and considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Hi, I'm Annalee Leonard with Mainstay Financial Group, and I'm here to design a financial plan for you and for those that you love.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just
Please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Mainstay Financial Group offers advocacy and personal financial guidance in a caring environment. That's the heart of our practice. At Mainstay, we're dedicated to exemplary service and a caring relationship with our client, not with a number. Plan for the future now with Mainstay Financial Services.
Welcome back to Winning with Annalee. I'm your host, Annalee Leonard, president of Mainstay Financial Group, right on the corner of Cervantes and Perry. Today I'm talking with John Horton, who is a business associate. John has become a good friend over the years because I have so admired watching John and the way you work and how you do things and your true concern for the senior community, for the community in general. And I love it when you can watch businesses grow together, serving the community together. And I, you know, that's why we do E3. the women's event, because I firmly believe if we make our own community stronger, that spreads out. I think we spend too much time sometimes trying to make everybody else way out there better, and we forget about the needs we have here.
One person at a time, and just let it grow from the inside.
One at a time.
Yeah,
one at
very
a
good.
time. So we're talking, John, about the assisted living facilities, the independent living facilities, and we were talking about the calendars that they keep and the activities they offer on a voluntary basis. What are some of the things you've seen in some of the communities that they do?
Well, one of the most common things that people think about is bingo. But actually, bingo is a very big thing because they give them bingo bucks and they have auctions at the end of the bingo. If they win a bingo bucks, they can go out later at the end of the month and they can spend that money to buy all kinds of different things. So bingo is a big deal. Some of them have shuffleboard. If you're an Elvis fan, he's still alive. I've seen him in the buildings.
You've seen him in the
I've
building?
seen him in the buildings,
Oh,
and
my
some
God.
of them are pretty good,
Yeah.
actually. So
Yeah.
they get live entertainment. I've seen them load up a bus and go to a casino and just, take whatever money they can and they go spend it.
I've noticed when I go to the symphony, you'll see
Yeah,
a lot of the
they do.
bands out at the symphony, and people will just be getting off, go to the symphony, get back on, and be driven home.
I actually just helped a gentleman last week that he said, now one of the important things is for me to get to the symphony. He said, we will get you to the symphony.
Yeah.
So it is important to them that they stay active, that they stay socialized, that they get some activities. I've seen them go to the beach. I know that they go fishing from time to time. Now these aren't things that they do every week because
Right.
it is a large organization to try and make this happen. But they do keep them active. The other thing that they do is exercise.
Yes.
From a wheelchair or from a walker. They do leg exercise, arm exercises to keep them moving. It's a known fact, the more they move, the better they're going to be. Their joints aren't going to hurt as much.
And the more active the brain stays.
The brain is. And one of the documentaries is that if they get the socialization that they can get at an assisted living, it adds a year and a half to their life just because they're active mentally, emotionally, and physically.
And physically, it makes a big, big difference. And again, all those activities are voluntary.
Absolutely.
I know it's a couple of the facilities I visited do yoga, some do Tai Chi, and it can be as active or as inactive as you would like.
Right.
Trip to the shopping mall, trips to Walmart, taking you to the doctor if you need that. And several of the communities around here, as you mentioned, actually will let you have a pet.
Yes, they will. And the only responsibility is you have to be able to care for it. They're not pet sitters. Although I can tell you there is one place in town that if you want to pay an extra fee, you can have the animal in your room and they will walk it, feed
Yep.
it, and take care of it.
Yep. And I know which one that is. So, and that's important because, if you're leaving your home, that's been your home for maybe 20, 30, 40 years, you're moving into a new community. If you have a pet that you really have an attachment to and a love for, it's important that you can take that little being with you. I think it's of course I can't understand people loving and spoiling their pets,
I wouldn't know what you would know about that.
I know nothing about that, but that's always been a thing for me. If ever that would occur, I would have to go to a community that would allow me to have a pet, because I can't imagine myself without a puppy in my lap. I just,
It's an emotional tie, and it's
Yeah.
part of, there is a separation. They're leaving their home. They're not.
Right.
Some of them aren't driving, and that pet is that last bit of this is mine.
It's mine.
And I need to hold on to
Yeah.
it. So we try to take all that into consideration.
So let's kind of quickly go back over, John. What would be some of the signs that a concerned person would need to start being aware of if they think someone they love and care about may need to start considering an assisted living facility or an independent that leads to assisted? What are some of the things we need to look for?
And I just posted to the Facebook, so if you can go to Facebook for Assisted Living Locators of Pensacola, 11 signs. And so I wrote some of them down. It's accidents, whether it would be falls and they've bruised themselves up. You want to find out how often are you falling, because they're not going to tell you. If you have a car accident, why was that? Because you couldn't react quick enough, or because you didn't see it? So you want to keep those. And then a slow recovery from that fall. Are you not healing? Are you not getting better? Are you not willing to get up and walk it off? Whether it would be from a cold that you just don't seem to be getting over. So you want to look at that. Chronic health conditions, dementia. We do help with memory care. There are several good places here in Pensacola with memory care. And we'd love to work with those and help them and get them into that right place. The one thing that I did want to mention, one of the things that you can do, especially as a child, is go to the house, look around, see what's going on at the house. And we talked about that a little bit. But give them a big hug. Not a bear hug, but a hug. Feel if they're frail. Feel if they've lost a little weight. Feel and see if they go, ooh, and you touch something hurts. And check, get a little closer to them. And you know what? They love a hug. It's far and few between sometimes for some of them. So give them that hug, and in that process, you're checking on them to see just where they at and how are they doing. But those are some of the signs that it might be time to start looking to see if mom or dad needs a little more care than they're getting for themselves.
And you had mentioned to look to see things like our pots burn. Is there pot holders that have been burned? A friend of mine recently in Texas had to go to a facility because she had early onset Alzheimer's, and they thought it was progressing much more slowly than it actually was. Had taken the stove out so she wouldn't burn herself, left a microwave. Well, she put food in the microwave, did the timer for an hour, and walked away. Well, the microwave caught on fire. And of course, that's when they realized, oh my gosh, she couldn't tell the difference between setting for 10 minutes or setting for an hour, or setting for 1 minute or setting for an hour, and is now in a community and is actually doing a lot better now, because being by herself, again, that isolation was making everything worse.
And you mentioned last time too about medications, and this is very important. When you go to their house, check the medications. If it's still full and it should be half full, they're not taking it, probably because they're trying to save money. The other thing is they'll hang on to that medication even though it's expired.
Not good.
You need to toss that out. Look around on the floor, because if they drop it, they're probably not picking it up. They'll just say, I'll get it next time. And so medications is very important. Very, very important.
Now, you know, the thing is, neither you nor I can help everyone.
No.
We wish we could. But there is an excellent list that John has put together called Help is Available. And this is on your website.
Correct.
We're going to put it on the Mainstay website, so you'll be able to look for it there also. But it gives you things like the Alzheimer's Association 24/7 hotline, Medicare Nursing Home Compare, and you know, that's, again, we've got to take into consideration, and people have to know this, Medicaid does not come into this. That's a whole nother ball game, where we may have to bring an attorney in. We may have to look at a different type of facility. It's just, there's so many little pieces that come in. Assisted Living Federation of America, the National Long-Term Care Ombudsman Resource Center, and the Joint Commission on the Accreditation of Healthcare. So some of these would do what types of things for us, John? I mean,
well, with your Association for Alzheimer's, it will give you resources, support groups, and I'd like to mention my associate Sharon Oakes does 4 different support groups here in Pensacola. So if you need that information, you can call us and we'll let you know about that. And support is very important. You get to hear what other family members are going through. You get to hear how you can do things a little bit different to make life easier for you and your loved one.
Yes.
And so that's very important. The Assisted Living Federation of America, they give you census on how this company is doing, and a lot of times that's regional, so we can help you with that also. If you'll call us, we're more than happy to give you some of that. And then the Ombudsman program is, if your family member moves into a place and you're experiencing some difficulty and you feel like there's some neglect or some abuse, you can call them and they'll get somebody right out and take care of it.
Check on. So a lot of different places you can go for information. I think a good place to start is right here
Absolutely.
with John Horton. He'll tell you. If he can help you, he'll tell you. If you need something else, he'll tell you where to go for that. So how do we get in touch with you, John?
You can call us at 850-542-3088. And I apologize, it is a punch system because you have to punch a number for me or a number for Sharon.
That's okay.
I wish I could answer every phone, but I can't. And then you can reach us on the web at www.pensacola.assistedlivinglocators.com.
And if you can't remember any of that or you get confused, call my office, 437-3127. We will be more than happy to get you in touch with John. Actually, John very often meets with people at our office because it's convenient, it's easy to get to. Sometimes the first visit people feel more comfortable meeting in a neutral location. So if you want to talk to John, you need more information, give us a call. We'll get you with him. Hope you've learned something, and now you know you have a resource that is so high in its value. Call us if you need. We'll see you next month.